Welcome back, y'all. Barbie Quinn is here taking over Pop Austin because this Barbie knows it all, obviously. And I brought my bestie because Barbies have so many besties, but I brought my bestie, Cakey Bums, Lauren, Low Keef. I have so many names for you. You can pick whichever one you want today.
All of them.
All of them. All of them. You know, what's a gal talk without her bestie here? Plus, I know y'all are sick of listening to me. I mean, at least there's the brunette to my blonde.
Hey.
Hold on one second. I need to get comfortable for this. Okay, there. I feel better now. But wait, actually, there is one story I wanted to tell you that I wanted to tell you, Dee. So before we all begin, I feel as though the first time I was on like Pop Austin, like, you know, I really did embrace the whole Barbie look, you know, as far as like my attire, and it was way more, although I have like many faces in fashion, you know, loves, it was definitely like over consuming just the Barbie vibes. But I feel as though like I've toned it down a little bit. Don't you? Like as far as like having to wear like pink every day, or I mean, don't get me wrong, I still love pink, but you know, it's I feel as though I'm not as, you know, much of a freak show in walking down the street as like, oh my God, there's like a hot pink Barbie brought to life, right? Would you say like I've toned it down like a tinge?
I mean, I would say you've toned it down a little. Whether
I need
that's
like some validation here. Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay,
like
perfect.
It's happening.
It's
but
happening.
We love Barbie.
We love it either way, but we can all agree.
Yes.
That Barbie has toned it down a little bit. Okay, so with that in mind, okay, I was wearing what I thought to be a very like classy lady who lunches style outfit.
Okay.
So it was like a green plaid skirt.
Okay.
I mean, it's like a mini skirt, but it was a skirt, and then a blue lace like tank top, and then like platform heels.
Okay.
Not terrible, right? I mean, like, whatever. So I go to get coffee at Summer Moon.
Okay.
Oh, shoot. I shouldn't have said the place. I go to get coffee in a suburban area. And I'm sitting there and I'm having some coffee, working on some emails before a doctor's appointment. As I'm getting up, there's been this like older gentleman like kind of sitting near me making some commentary with me. But when I say older gentleman, he was like probably closer to 70. Like, you know what I mean? Like obviously older. Not like, ooh, is he like a sexy like 50s guy? Like, you know, this was like pushing grandpa status. So I didn't think much of it because, like, you know, they do that. They just like to chime into like little conversations. But I'm packing up my bags and he was like, wait, like, before you leave, I have to ask you one question. And he's like kind of whispering this. And I'm like, oh, like, what is it? You know?
Yeah.
And then he mouths to me, like, where do you work? Like, and I was like, I'm like, wait a minute. Maybe I didn't hear him correctly, you know? And I'm like, no. He repeated it again, like where he could come find me. And I'm like, my answer at first was, oh, I work for myself. And then I realized that just made it sound even worse. Like now I'm basically offering this man private services. And he was like, well, good for you. And I was like, no, like as a business consultant, but thank you so much, you know, for labeling me the prostitute of the morning at 9 a.m. in a suburban coffee shop. Like, if I can't go there, like, where am I supposed to go now?
You're all like, thank you so much for the support.
Like, you know, it's like, and then the other day I went to like Hobby Lobby and like, I thought I was wearing like a hoodie and she asked like where I danced at. I'm like, what? This is a Jesus store, I thought, you know, like Hobby Lobby. I just wanted some fake flowers, you know, but it's okay. It's okay. Keep them coming. Keep it coming, because that is an example of the crazy stuff that happens to me. Oh, and in the same day that the 70-year-old man asked me, you know, whether or not I would sleep with him essentially for money, that same day, the girl who was, checking me in at the DMV listens to my podcast. She's a good girl. She was like, wait a minute. She's like,
we love this.
She's like, what do you do? And I was like, podcasting. And she was like, what's it called? And I was like, she's a good girl. And she was like, is it on Spotify or whatever? And I'm like, no way.
I love it.
See, so I can remember for different things.
Yes. We love this. We love this.
Okay, but anyway, if you do listen to my podcast or me here or anywhere, you know that one of my top tiers and pillars of life is music. And within the music category, 90s hip hop, R&B, 2000s, all of that genre is my jam, one of my go-tos. And I feel like it's been in the news a lot more lately because really everything comes back, and obviously the Diddy Cassie stuff is just taking over as it should. But I feel like now it's time to let everyone have their moment from that era, because I feel like I've been saying this for a while, like, with some of the stories that come out, it's not that I'm not like sympathetic or empathetic. It's just that like, I know, like, I'm not going to sit here and act surprised every time when it's been going on, as far as I'm concerned, probably since the beginning of time. But there are so many like uncovered stories, or, this was a way of life for some of us, being, in a position of feeling less powerful than a man in whatever uncomfortable situation. Now, this is actually highlighting something that's not even a gray area. It's not even whether or not this was comfortable for her. This is whether or not like it's impacting her life, like physically threatening her well-being to a point like of an actual medical condition. And that's like a whole nother layer of abuse where like it eliminates any type of he said, she said, when you actually have video footage of him, dragging her down the hallway. And it's like, even 2016, I mean, it is a long time ago, but it's also not, especially because some of the stories coming out, it's been 20 plus years since this happened, or 30 plus years. I mean, some people go their entire lives. She did this fairly quickly, and I'm so proud and so grateful that she can give an example of someone that doesn't take something that happened like so long ago, where it may not even be the same human being, and try to compare it to, like, you know what I mean? Like we have to start doing things more in the moment to create more action, to actually stop the behavior from penetrating further.
Absolutely. And I also think that like her coming forward is just going to open up so much more. Like, I kind of feel like this is just the surface, so it'll be
it usually does, right? Like, it's like every story needs like their spokesperson, or like, the face of that movement, that mission. And absolutely, when you get someone like her who is so loved and who really hasn't been highlighted for anything negative that she's ever put out there, that's like hitting the jackpot of a spokesperson, because that's when people start to listen. That's why this story is getting attention, even though maybe some of the people that are reading about it and supporting about it don't even remember Cassie's music. Because like, let's face it, this is some old school stuff. Like, I love it, don't get me wrong. But like, we could have easily been having this same conversation back when they were on the radio, because it was probably happening then. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we are not actually stopping the behavior. So, these YouTubers and all of these new platforms that y'all have, like, congratulations. I love hearing about it. The Alexa Nichols, or whatever the heck her name is, Nicholas.
No, we're going to talk about her. Well,
it's like they think that just because they're louder or whatever, like their story or their issue is the groundbreaking one. But it's like, no, no, bitch, whatever I'm allowed to say. Like
not that word.
Not that word. Take it back.
It's like, okay, so it's like, no, B, like, we just didn't have like the internet, honey. Like, it was like word of mouth if your boyfriend was kicking your ass on the weekends. Like, we didn't get to like record a YouTube special about it and shout it from the rooftops.
I was
so
just
it's not,
gonna
you know
say.
what I mean? It's like, for us, it's actually like, not that we're comparing which situation is worse than the other, but what's sadder to me is the fact that like that was just like a way of life. We didn't even probably think to report it in the way that we do now.
Oh, absolutely. And
So
just
it's
having
like,
that video footage, like, I feel like things weren't filmed to that extent,
Right.
like back in the day,
Do you want to know how many fights I probably got in with like my ex-boyfriend in Vegas, like drunk, like we're not being kind to each other, and there is like, some physical aspect to the aggression.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought roll the tapes.
Roll the tapes.
Like,
And
no, what?
It is so crazy because we're such a phone generation. Like, it's like, whip out your phone.
Yeah.
Whenever
it's
you can wait.
It's like everything's
Anything
like caught on
interesting.
camera.
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah.
well, for better or for worse, I guess.
But
you know?
there is a lot of people who haven't experienced that, so it is like pretty shocking. Like to me, I've never been in a physical altercation with a significant other, so that's super shocking to somebody like me
Yeah, no, I think
who's
that's
green.
honestly.
I was gonna say, yeah. I mean, God bless.
I think that's. I mean, watching the footage, it's almost like a scary movie. Like, I'm just like, I think this is like low key, kind of like a girl's worst nightmare.
Right.
Like,
Well, the way he grabs her and drags her. Yeah. It's like
God,
her fingernails are like in the hotel carpet.
The freaking elevator just won't come quick
Come in
enough.
time? Yes. But that's when you take the stairs, girl. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
right.
Well, I guess. Well, what are the odds now? Because there's 3 of us in the room, and I have experienced that. So
Yeah.
I don't know what the actual statistics are of someone who has experienced that or who
I
has
know
not.
people on
But-
both sides who've experienced it. You know,
Yeah,
my mom
yeah,
experienced
same,
it
same.
through my dad, unfortunately, which is why she left. You know,
Yeah.
but he was drinking at the time, and he's since stopped. So, but.
So you have experience, like
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah, oh, yeah,
Yes.
oh, yeah. Me
It's touched-
personally,
it's
not-
touched your life.
Yeah,
in some way.
yeah,
Yes.
definitely.
Yeah. Because my college boyfriend was very violent to the point where I don't know. I still to this day don't really know what he hit me with, but hit me in the back of the head, and then I was brought to the local hospital by a nearby nurse that was walking by to work. And saw me. So, I get, it is, but at the time, when the police did come to the hospital, because they are called like immediately, like I didn't call them, like it's just the hospital will do it. They will call them, the police, and to get like a statement or whatever. And I have the option to press, at least I did then. I don't know how it works, but I just remember them asking me like the option to press charges. And even in that moment, like literally getting stitches in my head, I said, no, I don't want to press charges. And it just wasn't like a thing you did. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
if it happened to me today, I'd be like, hell yes, I'm pressing charges. Like, let's go. Like, this is my point. We need to stop this. But back then it was so normalized that didn't seem like a big deal.
Yeah,
almost.
I do think times have changed, and like the more, again, I think it deals with like the internet and social media and just being able to communicate with each other more. Because I feel like, like you said, once you have somebody who has a voice and they're not scared to use it, I mean, they may get the backlash, but then you realize that there's so many other people who have been in the same boat. And they're willing to come up, like rise up and share their story. And
then to bring me back to that Alexa girl, but that's like,
No, we're gonna do another video on her.
I was gonna say that's why
Stay on the Cassie.
selecting your
How do you feel about just Cassie's response?
I thought it was brave. I thought that she wasn't just like, oh, let's let bygones be bygones. She was very much like, this is what it is, like this happened. I'm like acknowledging it. And yeah, it really messed me up. Like, she wasn't saying like, oh, but I'm such a big person that I know that I've moved on. It's like, I'm getting stronger and I'm getting better, but yeah, no, like that was real. That was messed up.
absolutely.
And I also like how the way that I don't know if this was intentional or not. I'd like to think it is. The way that she specifically worded it, she was saying like, this is about domestic violence. Like, don't make this about anything else. Like, is what I took from that. Like, don't make it about whether or not you like him as a performer. Like, because we are dealing with like celebrity figures, right? Let's not make it about something else. Let's make it about what it is, which means if it can happen to me, it could happen to you, it could happen to me, it could happen to any woman. Let's make it about the cause. Let's make it about not just me, Cassie, and him, Diddy, as famous people, but like, let's make it about what the issue really is.
Yeah.
Stay on track. And that's what to me was the most powerful thing about her statement.
Yeah. I feel like there's what it sounds like is that this is just the surface though of a lot of crazy things he's done.
Oh, for sure.
So,
I mean, yeah, well, let's face it. If you can even do that once, you're toast to me. Because like you've lost all kind of credibility and just whatever it may be. But what I think moves more ground about this particular case is the time frame in which it happened. And because like there have been so many stories, and it's like the fact that it happened when it did, it resurfaced fairly quickly, so you could still very much tie it to that memory, that instance in time. You know, I think it just makes it so much more palpable for people to receive that. I think that it could do more than some of the other stories, because I just am so sick of it feeling like we're just repeating the same behavior, and it's just like another like same thing, different day, different celebrity, different man of power doing something he shouldn't do.
Yeah, and I think it's like the video, because there's video footage, it's hard to like portray it as or not portray it, but it's hard to like cover it up. Like it's there. Like, we're all watching the same thing.
This is no longer like, you know, like what Barbie
said,
thinks.
She said,
or
like, you know,
this is not like a topic of conversation. This is not not a topic for debate. That's what I meant. This is not a topic for debate. This is like, if there is ever such a thing as black and white, this is it, folks. Like there is no like denying that this was physical abuse happening. It's all right there. Like so I'm kind of like done with this whole maybe this happened or I felt uncomfortable or looking back I should have felt uncomfortable and It's like, no, like your life was at risk. He could have hit her in the head the wrong way. She could have fought, like she could have died.
Absolutely.
Essentially,
we don't even know. We don't even know what was even said.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, it's just like the surface. We don't even have the audio, the verbal abuse she's probably enduring.
You don't know, like outside of that instance, what he could have threatened her with. Because I know a lot of people don't speak up about their abuse because of like that fact, is like the threats and the if you say this and
they're
that,
scared. Yeah, they're scared of retaliation.
That's a real thing. So it's like that would be crazy to even like.
I know.
And one of his exes did pass away in kind of mysterious way.
Yes.
Kim Porter.
Yes.
Oh yes, that was coming out.
See, sorry.
Her friend was like. Her friend like creating like all these different like usernames to keep posting about it.
Yes,
dude, good for her.
Intuition. I'm so sorry. There was something in me that was just like when she passed away, it was like
sus.
So sus to me. I'm like, duh. But I
it was a little OJ-ish to you.
It was giving something.
It was giving
deeper.
OJ.
no, probably. Yeah, along those lines. Yeah.
Yeah,
Crazy.
I mean, well, again, think about the times. Like, there were probably people of power and money back then that were covering things up, that were sending someone on a permanent vacation.
Ooh, absolutely.
You know, what's interesting about, I think what we're experiencing in the culture shock here is that we have generations more intermingled than ever before. So while like, you know, people like us that are some people that are older of the millennial spectrum, you know, they're like, whatever, man, like we used to deal with this, we used to deal with that, and I'm keeping up with you young people, and the young people are like, well, like, why aren't you using like this platform to like speak out against this? Like, what do you mean that was okay? Or like, what do you mean that was the times? Like, and so it's just like we're all living now in a space that's so drastically different from where we started.
Oh my gosh.
So it's so hard to understand each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I do agree.
Let alone in dating. Dear God.
Yeah, don't open that can of worms.
I mean, I'm getting whiplash these days. I'm like 25 to 52 to 30. I'm like, whew, I don't even know. I
don't even know anymore.
Girls, guys, trans, whatever, everybody. Like, can someone just love me? No, just kidding.
Hey, man, it's your boy, Big Gang. You tapping into Pop Austin Media. You like that content? Man, hit that like, subscribe button, and get in tune. For sure.